Warning, the following episode contains adult language and screaming goats. Listener discretion is advised.
The Pinball Network is online. Launching The Pinball Show.
This week on an all-new The Pinball Show, Dennis and I chat about what's new in the world of pinball, Stern pinball production updates, Stern running more Beatles Gold machines, additional December games going into production, recent sales of Metallica Remastered and how they stack up to the field, Uncanny X-Men popularity and consumer feedback thus far, a scrapped Bill and Ted pinball machine? John Wick getting a boost, American pinball production and company updates, other Pindustry news, and pinball market trends. Official TPS Club members this week get exclusive content covering discussion of sales and comparing game success across manufacturers, American Pinball's communication about retired games, and enthusiast perceptions. And we talk about whether or not some manufacturers are making a big mistake with how they are distributing their products overseas versus those going to the United States. All of this and more on episode 164 of The Pinball Show. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Pinball is a game of skill. For some, it's a passion and a lifestyle. It's time for The Pinball Show. It's pinball with personality.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better.
And away we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Pinball Show. It's episode 164. I'm Zach Meny alongside Dennis motherfucking Kriesel. How's it going, Dennis?
We're back. It's been 84 years.
It's been a while.
Or a month. It's been a month.
What's that song? Is that Nickelback?
It's been a while.
I don't know Nickelback.
Oasis? Who is that?
It's been a while.
Stained. It was Stained.
Oh yes, the Nickelback of Tide.
It's not been too long. I guess a couple extra weeks here, but I'm fired up and very, very ready to go. I've been working hard, been going to different events. Dennis, what about you? What have you been doing?
Well, it's been a lot of work. I've done a few things over with my wristwatch YouTube. This one, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
So I did a video that criticized people that do reviews.
Oh,
and the
I
reviewer
see.
folks, the B pluses out there, they have not been all that thrilled, though. The general public has been much more supportive of my position.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine. But if they're responding, then they're paying attention. That hits a little close to home, doesn't it?
When's the next B plus review coming out?
Speaking of the next, we made the choice to either we could just not do reviews anymore. Or we just say fuck it, we really don't care. We like pinball, so we'll review. And if people want to bitch and cry about it, that's fine. They can bitch and cry about it. On to the next one. Speaking of on to the next one, hopefully that will not happen to my experience. A couple weeks ago, I went to this wedding. And you know what? I appreciate the outdoor weddings. I like them.
Don't you think there's such a gamble, though, with the weather?
I think I like the moxie there. I like the confidence. They didn't require me to dress in a certain way or anything like that. So it was a nice wedding. So invited to this wedding, outdoor wedding, more of a progressive wedding. Is that a thing?
I don't know what that means.
I'm used to very traditional,
like the wedding march and all that.
Yeah,
and
typically Catholic-based cathedral-style mass weddings.
Lots of organ.
Oh, love me some organ. Yes. I just pictured Elvira. We go to this wedding, very progressive in that there were readings done, but they weren't readings from the book of or anything like that. They were more readings from family and friends that had a message within them. So the bride and groom still standing up there, instead of reading to the book of Luke or anything, they read their own message to the bride and groom. So a little bit more progressive. One individual was reading to the attendees and talking about how they met and the bride and groom's obsessions with movies and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, Dennis, the individual said, something, you guys love movies and you love these obscure blah, 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 almost akin to my love for pinball.
It was you. You're the speaker.
Fuck, he was dead the whole time?
You were the joy of Christmas all along.
That's right. Bob Cratchit. No. So he said, akin to my love for pinball. And he says, I know Zach Meny from Flip N Out Pinball knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, you paid for a plug
I
at a
wedding. I got a Flip N Out plug.
Dire. I didn't know the industry was that bad.
Round of applause. Whoa. Thank you.
Wow.
Needless to say, that guy's definitely going to get one hell of a discount next time he orders again. He gave me a shout out for my company mid-wedding reading. It was fucking awesome.
That is going to be rated right up there. There was a person, I used to watch their YouTube channel, and one of the members of it was, they focused on movies, YouTube channel movies. And one of the guys on there was getting married, and they actually got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to officiate the wedding.
Yes.
And during it, he plugged that Skyscraper movie.
Yes.
And I was just like, that is what this reminds me of. So tacky.
It was so
wrong.
Great. it made my entire month. So,
well, of course it did for you.
I could not help but to respond right in the middle of the ceremony. I was in the back and I stood up and said, "Heck yeah, man!" And I sat down. Oh my God, gave him a little fist bump afterwards. I was like, "Oh my God,
completely ruined that
you are
wedding.
getting a discount faux show."
I guess progressive is one way to describe it.
Right? Oh, it was so funny because Nicole was like, "Really?"
She likes to see her sliding down in the lawn chair, lower and lower.
Yeah. So that was a cool event that I attended. Shout out, you know who you are out there. Oh my gosh, you list that game, I'll bring it to you. A lot of stuff going on this week. Let's jump into Stern Pinball alone. The past couple of weeks, listener, they've been building Godzilla 70th anniversaries, Godzilla Premiums, the color version, and Metallica Remastered LEs have hit the line.
I have been hearing some interesting stuff about this Metallicas, but go on.
So we're going to go post-gate. Is that where we're going?
That one might, maybe.
All right. So Metallica Remastered, they're starting to ship. They're going to, throughout this week, they're going to ship alongside continuation of Godzilla 70th, Godzilla Premium Colors. So that's kind of what they've been focusing on as of late. And you know why, listener? Because those games sell incredibly well. I have a Metallica Remastered LE right now sitting in my game room. I have not unboxed it yet. Oh.
Well, I mean, you know most of the game already, so.
Well, it's a different game, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I know. I heard Travis over on Triple Drain was like, "Dennis, you're not right at all."
Oh, I know.
But then he wasn't sure about the post.
Travis agreeing with me. That's
different.
Wild.
We'll just put in a post in everything and make it a new game. Do you think that would solve the Ghostbusters thing? Should they just put a center post between the flippers?
I don't think so. I don't think they should touch it.
I've had some others. You used to, though. Used to be like they need to fix the gap.
No, I don't now. Nope. I think it's numbers don't lie. It's sold very well, so just keep it. Don't. I do think it would play fine as a standard gapped game, but I don't think it throws geometry up enough, but no, I say keep it. So last couple of weeks they've been building. Now keep in mind, people, that Godzilla 70th, that black and white anniversary edition, them's gone. Once they're done making them this week, they ain't making them no more.
Yeah, until they come out with another very similar looking premium like the Godzilla Blood Red edition.
75th anniversary might be different, but
his little flame will be red and sparkly. But everything else will be black and white. They said
basically there's no reason to make a Godzilla 71st.
I'll tell you what, they probably would have if sales had been like they were 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. This thing is selling very well. And then the rest of November, I know that the week of the 25th, so that Thanksgiving week, they're going to start on Metallica Premiums. So I don't think we're going to maybe see Metallica Remastered Premiums land until early December, and I'll tell you why. Because most of the shipping companies and Stern, they're going to stop shipping probably Wednesday of Thanksgiving week. So I don't see them building for 2 days starting that line and already getting something shipped out. So they probably will not ship into that following week, which falls into the 1st of December. But we'll see. We will see. Speaking of December, Star Wars Comic Pro and Premium is they're aiming to start building those in the first week of December, so we're going to see those very soon. And then, newly announced from Stern Pinball to dealers, there's going to be an eensy-weensy, just a wee bit, some specialty runs that are going to close out the month of December. That is their existing outstanding orders for Stranger Things Pro, Jurassic Park Pro, Jaws Premium. So some big hot titles there. And then more Black Knight Pros. You heard it, listener. The Sword of Rage Pro is coming back for some more run. And then the Beatles Gold Edition. What?
Whoa.
What?
I knew it never did well enough. And I'd wondered if it had ever actually sold out of its allotment, because that is a limited count run.
Yeah, the return of Yoko. She's back. Yeah, so they had 1964 total games. I think it was like 350 something edition, the platinum edition, 100 of the diamond edition, which left them, like 16, 14, something like that. But what you need to know, listener, is that they didn't build all of those because people were like, this is an outrage. They're going to make more LEs. This is bullshit. Well, they never made their original number that they said they were going to make. So I don't see that
at the time, for those that weren't in the hobby, I'd say the main issue was the fact that it was a single level game, and even the gold version was more than a pro. So a lot of people just couldn't reconcile it.
Yeah. They did say to dealers that they do have less than 100 to build. So it's not like they're doing this big run, because people are like, well, are they going to do the Beatles topper and accessories again? And no, they're not planning on any of that, because if they're just selling less than 100 now, there's no need to jump into the accessories thing again. That's just what they said. Interesting to me here, though. We, 3 years ago when the Beatles were out, if not longer, the price of them relative to, as you were talking about, the Pro or Premium or LE counterparts was significantly different than the difference in pricing now from this Beatles run comparative to the Pro Premium LE. What I mean by that is that the MSRP on these Beatles Gold has not seen the inflation-esque type of numbers as the rest of the Cornerstone model. So the studio run of the Gold is going to be set at $84.99. So that's $1,200 cheaper than a Premium model. So I think the value is substantially better now on a Beatles than it was when it was first released. And that was the biggest complaint, I think, whenever it was released, was, man, it's a lot of money for, and then they were like, well, the license was expensive. Well, remember that was the whole, it doesn't have ramps.
$1 million license. It's just, and this, we've seen this happen with a lot of games, even really popular ones amongst enthusiasts like Total Nuclear Annihilation. Single level games do not appeal to a vast swath of modern collectors. That said, I do think they sell out of this at this point. I think they'll move it.
Okay.
It was a fun game. I played it a number of times.
It's one of my favorite Sterns.
But I mean, back then it was like this much for Sea Witch 2.0.
And listener, for further analysis on this story, as always, you can dive deeper with us as an official club member of the Pinball Show. Go to patreon.com/The Pinball Show for exclusive content, such as us talking about this more. I think we're going to jump into, on Patreon, I'm going to talk about some of the sales recently across the manufacturer, especially across Stern here as we are into Q4. I think people are going to find some of these sales points very, very interesting whenever you put them all out on the table and compare them. So join us over there if you are a club member. Thank you for the continued support. If not, jump over there. The minimum membership fee is $10 a month. So heck, why not? Jump over there. Let's talk more about the Beatles and sales in general. Ooh, if we're talking about accessories and the production updates there, we did get an announcement of a new accessory package. This coming from Godzilla's 70th anniversary by Stern Pinball. We got the black and white accessories not only announced in us, but they've already started shipping.
Oh.
Yeah, so no longer do you have to have a topless Godzilla 70.
I wonder how long they had to like soak those toys and things in acetone to strip all the color out.
And then I heard some people like complain. They're like, wait a minute, there's still some LEDs that are colored on the top, or it should always be white. It's like, oh, well, God.
I would respect the purity of the commitment if they had just done white ones. They should, but then everyone wanted them to charge less for the topper because they didn't need color changing RGBs.
Right. Or they would think that like Godzilla's just like Snoop Dogg now. He's just blowing smoke. He's not even blowing fire, just smoke.
He's chasing clouds. What is it? What's the thing where the vapes and they blow the big clouds?
Oh, yeah, man. Godzilla 70th anniversary accessories are now out. Still to be announced, Venom accessories, John. I don't know where any of that stuff is. Uncanny X-Men accessories, Metallica Remastered accessories. Well, they did say that Metallica Remastered accessories were supposed to fall at the end of this first run or so. So I would anticipate December they will announce Metallica Remastered accessories. Over the last couple of weeks, if you've watched the forums, listener, you'll see that Uncanny X-Men, while wildly popular, is getting a lot of discussion with required tweaks and modifications for things to flow smoothly, such as the shooter. Like the shooter plunge, people are reporting to a significant degree.
Yeah, I've seen that more than any other thing is complaints about the plunge.
Like it's not plunging manually or automatically up and around the ramp back through the habit trail. It's falling short. It reminds me exactly of Avengers Infinity Quest when, I mean, even on my Avengers still wouldn't plunge all the way. Like every once in a while I'd make it all the way up around the wire form, but if not, it falls back down to, what's the bird guy?
Hawkeye?
No, not Hawkeye. This is the bird guy.
The bird.
Andrew Mackey, or some Mackey played that. Andrew, Captain America's counterpart. Captain Bird.
Falcon.
Falcon. There, it would fall into the Falcon, a little rollover, and then come down. So it feels very much like that. People are saying, well, there's screws poking out, or like it needs this adjust, it needs a washer here, it needs a. So Stern initially they acknowledged it and they said, okay, yeah, we're seeing what you're seeing. They started sending out like new automatic plungers, but then they came out and told us dealers, and I think the rest of the community as well, hey, we are still working on adjustments and fixes for the shooter. And people were reporting like one of the ramps, a continuation ramp, one of the flaps is coming up, and then like the ball falls off a wire form every now and then. So,
oh dear,
a little bit, I would say, more adjustments needed than a standard fan layout Brian Eddy game, or like,
I don't know. Stranger Things had its share of issues.
It did, yeah. Going into Demogorgon.
No, they were almost always the Demogorgon
and TK Lock, yeah. So,
oh yeah, that's right, TK Lock.
So we're getting a lot of reports now. Some people are like, well, is that because they pushed this game up, or is that because this game is just much more of a complex, unoriginal, or like original type of unique layout? And to that, I don't know what your answer is, Dennis, but I would say, why not both?
I would lean more to the latter personally.
Okay.
But it's the complexity of it. The state of the code is explained by it being pushed up. But
sure,
I would have hoped that the whitewood had been finished before they went for it. So we've just seen with Stern that they don't have the best reputation in the business about troubleshooting their games before they go into production. Again, the Demogorgon stuff, for example, was seen by a lot as a shocking drop of the ball. Like, how did this toy come out in this state? How did you not know? And that was, as I recall, that was their answer was, in our testing, it was fine. And so I'm assuming this one was tested and it was fine, but their testing's probably pretty limited.
Well, remember Rush had some things too with the scoop.
Oh, it's all sorts. So I mean, it could be a why not both, but I want to say that X-Men wouldn't have been the thing that had been moved up, or it wouldn't have come out when it did if the whitewood wasn't finalized. I really struggle to think that they would have half-baked the design. The code not being remotely where it should be is more indicative of the acceleration.
So we do have a Pro and an LE in our showroom, and I noticed these issues on the plunge. I've noticed some balls falling off of the LE, like the finger flick or like some people are like, well, when the other Sentinel hand destroys the wire form, the ball always races down the middle. Okay, so I'm mixed on these, Dennis. For something like that, I'm like, duh, of course. If a Sentinel is breaking a ball bridge and is battling the player, who gives a shit if the ball is coming towards the center drain? Nudge better. Like it's like when competitive pinball players complain about magnets. Like, oh, how dare they have something that makes this fun? What? That's part of the game. It's fun.
People getting insta drained is not fun.
I think if you're a great pinball player, then you can pretty much save most center drain shots.
Okay, but I think if you're a pretty good pinball player, a lot of them are going to be playing competitively as well, and they're going to say, why am I being punished for making a shot, especially when the pro doesn't do it?
Because you're battling the Sentinel. Why, whenever I'm playing a video game, why do I get hit by the boss during the final stage? Because they're fucking battling me. That's why. That's the easiest explanation that really has no challenges.
Well, I mean, you can claim there are no challenges. I'm going to tell you, Zach, that with modern pinball play, and you can debate it because I definitely think that it's a worthy discussion to have if pinball has turned too much into baby's first pinball where every shot is safe.
Yes.
And as long as you make your shots, you get rewarded with additional play instead of keeping these games short and brutal like how they used to be. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of people, that is how they view pinball at this state. And if a game is going to cheat them and that's how I think they view it, it's going to cheat them for making a shot and not cheat them on a different model for making a shot, then they have a problem with it. And so, I mean, they'll probably argue for it's okay if the ball goes straight down the middle if they do something like how Godzilla would recognize its risks of the building being straight down the middle and would give very short ball saves to try and accommodate for that. So there's a programming fix that can solve this, but they would view it as needing fixed, whereas you clearly do not view it as needing fixed.
No, not the story it's telling in that pinball moment, and what a pinball moment that is. Now, I could see if the ball was consistent in its pathway following that wire form breaking. Okay, but here's the problem. In no way, shape, or form, design-wise, can it be consistent. It is very much random. It's within a window range of physics, sure, but it is not going perpendicular right in between the flippers every time. And guess what? If it was, guys, there's a center post. There's no argument here. Just, nudge better, play better. Here's my thing. The whole ball over the wire form stuff. All right, bend your damn wire forms a little bit so the ball don't fall off. All right. I wasn't as bothered by the plunge thing because I'm used to Avengers, and I'm used to, unfortunately, not a great excuse, but I'm used to putting accessory shooter rods on all my games, which always messes up a full plunge. But like, to the extent that people are like, this game's a lemon, I can't make a skill shot. Like, maybe I'm just giving too much leeway for new pinball machines, but like, okay, you miss a skill shot. Okay. Can you play a mode? Can you play a multi? If you miss a skill shot every now and then, who cares?
It's okay. I mean,
it's not okay.
It's okay to miss a skill shot, not because they weren't skilled, but because the game didn't work right. Is that the argument?
Give me a percentage and I'll tell you if it's okay. Like if it's happening 10% of the time, make some adjustments. If it's happening 100% of the time, okay, that absolutely is a problem with the solution. But I would also argue it doesn't mean the entire game is a lemon. Like, that's sometimes when I read on the forums, I'm like, I'm doing the Robert Downey eye roll. Like, for fuck's sake, people. Like, it's a plunge. The ball gets into play. Okay. Again, not okay. Will and can be fixed probably, but it doesn't mean it's like, you know what? I've had it. I can't deal with this game. Oh God, come on. That's my own personal opinion. That's all. And one that's so easy to argue. So for any of you out there that want to argue that, that's because I'm making money and I want to go against the man, this should be perfect. Okay. take the easy low-hanging fruit. That's fine. I'll take the hard argument. The hard argument is it's still fucking a great pinball machine. Here's my other argument that I want to see what you say about this, Dennis. I feel pretty strongly about this. My worry is, and again, I don't want to reinforce bad craftsmanship and a level of quality on new pinball products, whether it's Stern, Jersey Jack, Chicago, whoever it is. However, sometimes I worry because something like Uncanny X-Men is almost the epitome of what I look forward to in new pinball machines. That is interactive toys and mechs that are industry leading, pathways and layouts that are so unorthodox and still smooth and satisfying that they are novel and so exciting and fresh and new. So the epitome of what I look for in new pinball machines that I feel like we've sorely missed for many titles in the past. I fear that if, as a hobby, we continue to bitch and moan and whine, then at some point I fear manufacturers like Stern Pinball might go, all right, fucking give them Led Zeppelin. Give them that fan layout. Like, why? Let's not take risks, designer teams, because then it turns out that, a fan layout's a fan layout. We've perfected that. But when we do this continuation of shots that goes up ramps, we don't know what it's going to do with the ramp flat. So, you know what? Take your creativity and sit it on the bench, because clearly the hobby doesn't want that, because it may require more adjustment. That's what I fear. What do you think? Do I have a rightful fear, or?
I mean, I can't say whether or not that would be their response, the manufacturer's response.
I worry about it though.
Well, I
don't want to lose that.
I don't know if that should be the concern of the consumer, though. Let's not bring up issues because we're worried that we'll be punished by lack of creativity. I know. Especially given that Stern, we already talked about Stranger Things, the second fanniest fan layout to ever fan by them, the first being Venom, and all the issues they had with that. And that was a fan layout, a basic layout. And so I don't think it's necessarily indicative of the design's originality, so to speak, versus just a poor. I don't want to necessarily say it's poor craftsmanship, but poor setup, if nothing else. But again, this is a Stern case in point with throwing games in Costco and stuff. They're trying to make this more and more of a thing that the everyday person who does not have the knowledge, skills, or expertise to work on their own games to buy this stuff. So I'm sorry, they have to step it up. They chose this path. They chose the path of more sales, and that meant targeting consumers. And consumers are not going to be cool with being told that 15% of the time the plunge isn't going to work and that they need to be bending their wire forms. It's just,
I can't argue.
This is a bed they made themselves. It's not the consumer's fault. And so I just tend to be, your concerns may be right. I will acknowledge that. However, I am too pro-consumer to say that you should operate in fear of being punished by the manufacturers. And so I cannot support a stance that we need to shut up because they might punish us by going back to being basic.
And I want to make it clear, I'm not suggesting that as consumers we shut up. That's strong. I am saying that, and I could be wrong in my feeling, that I'm just concerned because I know how fragile this industry and this product is. And it just scares the shit out of me because what I love so much, I don't want that to go away. It's like a balancing act. Would I like more basic stuff that's going to be more consistent? Or am I okay as a consumer risking cooler shit if there's more window for that to... Okay, I'm thinking, remember Jersey Jack Pinball and we all fell in love with them? The Wizard of Oz, and then The Hobbit, people were like, eh. But then what happened? We started turning our nose up because everybody started saying, well, they're more basic now. They don't put as much in there anymore. Remember Pirates of the Caribbean when that came out, listener? Right? They teased us with this triple spinning disc. They teased us with this trunk that opened up. There was still cool shit in there. But then once the rubber met the road, Eric Meny had a video with his capstone red Wisconsin hat turned around, saying in a somber tone, "We're pulling some of these cool ass features because we're worried about long term of them or having to change a part out in the future because one out of so many have shown wear." I worry about, I want cool shit in pinball, and I just worry that these companies won't take risks. There's a difference between bringing up issues versus just completely destroying a game too.
I mean, your concern may be founded. I don't think so. I think it's going to come down to sales. And
yeah, that's true.
Uncanny X-Men is selling, and then they're going to go, all right, people want these weird ass layouts, and they're going to keep making them. That's what I think. I think money is what talks, and what people whine about on Pinside is really not moving the needle.
Great point. Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
I think it's a good point. I do. But yeah, so that's where my mind as a hobbyist has been, because I'm like, jeez, I just freaking love this X-Men game. And I know, it's got its adjustment things, but man, speaking of being in love, I myself am in love with Zombie Yeti artwork, Jeremy Packer artwork. Just love it. Can't get enough of it. People are like, maybe we're seeing too much Zombie Yeti. I will tell you to shut up then. No, go sit down. I love this artwork. I came across a post that Jeremy Packer put on, I think, Facebook, social media. It might have been on Instagram. I don't know. But I don't know if anybody's talked about this. I've seen it, though, and it made me go, oh! Can we get one of those patented Kriesel gasps? No. See if it's gasp worthy.
We see so much of his art, I can't gasp.
Oh, no, you're not one of them.
One of us.
He did this post. Now, I'm a sucker for these posts when they're like, work in progress posts of artwork that I've snapshotted so that I can look at when I'm out of the office and plan for the next time I sit down, all this stuff. And over the last, I don't know, I sat down and looked through my pictures, and I'll share some of them, work in progress kind of things. And there was like 13 pics that he's posted. And one was, it didn't show it in the preview because it was later in the series of pictures. And they were all pinball related, identifiably, like Deadpool, showing maybe some different characters on the play fields. Just really cool shit. But one of them was not identifiably pinball because we've not seen that title. And it was artwork that I'm assuming made for pinball, because all the other 13 or 12 were. It was of Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or Bogus Adventure, whatever it may be. But it was of Keanu Reeves in he was Bill. Yeah, he was Bill. With the Grim Reaper and some of the other characters. But playing it in there at picture number 10 or whatever was a little sneak peek of Bill and Ted. Now, I think that either Jeremy Packer did this by mistake. I don't think he did that, but it could happen. I think he snuck it in there because, in fact, he did a lot of work on a Bill and Ted pinball machine that was going to be made, listener, but it was canceled or scrapped for some reason, thus him feeling like he could share this picture. You see the picture now, Dennis. What do you think?
I do. I have to admit, and was it black and white originally?
Yep, it's just like this.
Because when I first saw it, I didn't know what it was.
And some of the other pictures were black and white because it was like almost like that's what his illustration before he colored it.
Right. And when I first saw it, I have to admit, I knew it was Keanu Reeves, but I did not identify it as being Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Oh, really?
Which is the one with death. Yeah, no, because I thought, why are there Fraggles in the lower corner? Yeah. And then Death, when I saw him, I think I was thinking Billy Bob Thornton from Sling Blade.
Oh, no.
And I was just all over the place when I saw this. And I thought, maybe it's some sort of montage of movies he likes. I don't know. But anyway.
Maybe I'm getting these wrong. But
yeah, it was probably for the best that they didn't make it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it might have worked.
It probably would have, but it's fine.
Oh, so yeah, I think it's scrapped though. I don't think this is something we'll see.
I mean, I would even say Back to the Future should be done over Bill and Ted.
So you're really anti Bill and Ted then?
No, I prefer the Bill and Ted movies to Back to the Future personally. Wow. I'm just saying, this is for the best for the manufacturers.
To me, it feels like a pinball theme.
I think it would work. I think it could work. But I just don't feel like it's loved as much. Like, if you're trying to sell the game just off of theme, there are so many better ones still that have never been done than this.
This or Dungeons and Dragons?
This would be probably preferable to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's the big
Are we doing
rumor.
just generic Dungeons and Dragons or the Chris Pine movie?
No, not the Chris Pine movie.
Okay, because it struggled at the box office, even though it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
No, I'd say Bill and Ted.
You know, that's the rumor still. The rumor is January Cornerstone, Dungeons and Dragons, Brian Eddy, Dwight Sullivan.
Okay. Well, I mean, 2025 needed to know what its John Wick was going to be, and I guess we do now.
Oh. Speaking of John Wick,
So you're saying I'm a natural 20.
we segue into... Now, I didn't yet make any of those advertisements, but man, oh man, there's so many worthy of it, like Metallica, Beatles Gold. Okay.
So I guess I have a +2 dexterity vest. I'm trying to Dungeons and Dragons him. Well, you killed my familiar for my dead witch, ogre, half-elf wife.
Sounds like one of your ex-girlfriends.
I cast magic missile at the darkness.
Speaking of John Wick, new code for John Wick that people are actually raving about. Thank God. 0.91 code where they added lights out. Think Johnny Mnemonic, but...
No.
So this lights out. I
remember so little of Johnny Mnemonic.
remember power down mode.
I just remember there was, oh gosh, I've only played the game like once.
It's a good game.
Yeah, the game is pretty good. The movie, I understand why Gomez called back to home base. So I was like, can we get out of this?
No.
thing? There was the dolphin with the weird thing on its head.
Yeah. All right, so but people are really they're raving this. It's man, it's nice to see.
Raving is such a strong word. No one owns this game.
A lot of people like this code. They're telling me. Look, Dennis, I'm your president now. I'm hearing great things about John Wick. I'm appointing John Wick to my cabinet.
John Wick's sales struggled so much. I am amazed that Stern didn't start including a sticker kit so you could just stick guns on
Everywhere.
On the play field. Yeah, just wherever you just stick one over the nunchuck, stick one over the sword.
Reapplicable
sword. It's like a shotgun,
decals,
perfectly designed to cover the swords.
Oh my
and
God.
just all stickers, just a little book of stickers.
I think competitive players will like this rule, and it's effectsy enough for us hobbyists as well, where you qualify, you go into the bottom in lanes, the Yaga in lanes, and then with the action button, you can press this, and you get 2 times scoring multiplier on all the game scoring, and there are motion sensors that illuminate a range of playfield inserts for 10 seconds, and then you can add 20 seconds. It is a very moment-based kind of thing that is reminiscent to the film series, especially during some of the cut sequences of the fighting in the clubs and different things. So yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. It's cool. There was also new code for Uncanny X-Men V.87 that was really hefty. A really hefty one that owners have said was very much needed, but still more to come. But at 0.87, still have high hopes. I think I still like that layout more than Jaws. I think it's my favorite layout probably since Foo Fighters. Like, I love that layout. All right, new code also for Elvira's House of Horrors, Led Zeppelin, and Foo Fighters. They all got code updates for the Expression speaker lighting upgrades. And
yes.
Other general adjustments as well, especially Elvira's House of Horrors got some other extra stuff, but check that out. All right, let's talk about American Pinball. Our favorite company.
Insert
that's
eagle.
Pretty clear here.
Pinoween.
Pinoween is over. All right. Now,
is it now Pinsgiving?
The Pinsgiving. Yeah. I don't know. A cornucopia of inventory we're sitting on.
Cornucopia. That sounds like something that, what's the poop monster?
Oh no. Suey.
That's Suey's day. Let Suey have his cornucopia.
Back off. This is me and Granny's holiday. Okay. So American Pinball, they retired officially up in the rafters, Oktoberfest. Speaking of October. And so they got rid of, they retired that. Then some news came out that Houdini and Legends of Valhalla were going to be retired.
Yes, I actually covered this on the last episode of Eclectic Gamers Podcast.
Yeah, we were going to cover it here. A lot of people did.
We were, yeah.
I think it was just the way it was presented to us dealers, because there are dealers out there now that, not that they have seen, myself as a dealer give information out to mass public, but their way of doing it is as soon as they get information, they run to like Nap Arcade or they run to, and try to get it out there. So that's what dealers are doing now. And they messaged us dealers and said, hey, they did say something to the effect of, we're wrapping up Houdini and Legends of Valhalla LE Deluxes or whatever. I get so messed up with those models over there for Legends of Valhalla. But then they followed up with dealers to clarify some things. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but I'll give you some of the information that was included, because then we've seen people report on it. And then we saw Kerry Hardy just obliterated the company about just decisions and different things. So American Pinball comes out to the dealers and says, look, we're going to clear up some things about this. Only Oktoberfest has been retired. Let's make that clear.
Okay.
We would also like to clear up the mistake of inadvertently that we did in our distribution communication a week or two ago. The word retire was used incorrectly. That's on us in reference to Houdini and Legends of Valhalla. They're not being retired. Right now, we do have, they gave a number of Houdinis that are still in the production line for the remainder of the year. And Legends of Valhalla, the limited edition, they said, to reiterate, is limited. So if we make all of those at some point and they're no longer in stock, it's not going to return to the line, thereby retaining the value of the product for those purchasing it. However, we do continue to run the classic versions of those games, and we'll review the status of that next year. Let's see. Also talked about pricing. They said we are not retiring those games, so there's still a pricing threshold that you have to meet. You cannot go under that. I did find interesting, though, they talked about the minimum advertised pricing is not in effect for Oktoberfest because they have officially retired it. So dealers can sell Oktoberfest for whatever the hell they want to, since it's officially retired. Now, that's something that I don't believe other manufacturers do. Like Stern, if they stop making something, they still hold dealers to the agreement of, MAP pricing or MSRP. So, they said they'll continue to support Oktoberfest. They're going to be at IAPA, etc. And then they also said they wanted to let everybody know that, recent videos out there that are presenting inaccuracies and misinformation, they want to let everybody know that those parties did not formally reach out to American Pinball to ask any questions for clarification prior to doing their videos. So they said, we just want to let you know it's not like anybody reach out to us to ask us these questions for us to present to them the correct information that they were worried about. So, for further analysis on this story, to dive deeper, why don't people, if you guys are interested in this, there's your information. There's your news. I think Dennis and I are going to dive deeper. As an official club member, you can hear us do so right now. Let's talk about Chicago Gaming Company. Want to?
Okay.
They're running fast over there. They're running a tight ship. They have
speed.
Recently announced over the last month or so, last couple of weeks, that Cactus Canyon, that enhancement package, they're estimating that to be early 2025. And then Pulp Fiction LEs. Where's my Pulp Fiction production? CGC has actually made some social media comments and posts. And then some of those comments, they said, quote, we're shipping our first batch internationally in November, that is of Pulp Fiction LE, and North American games will start shipping in December, end quote. So they plan on running internationally here in November, starting those, North America starting in December, and then wrapping up production of Pulp Fiction LEs in the spring of 2025. They're aiming February, March-ish. Then they will gear up for MMR. The term gear up can be interpreted in different ways. Timeline-wise, I don't know how long gear up means, but does that mean immediate or does that mean another year while we're prepping for that? I don't know. But that's the recent updates. It's still, as of March of 2025, it's going to be 2 years.
Yes.
So, it's quite some time.
It's been 2 years.
Flip N Out Pinball, if you guys are subscribers to their YouTube channel, uploaded a Monster Bash Remake Ellie game tutorial from Joel Engelberth. Everybody likes the Joel tutorials, so go check that out. Turner Pinball, in the news, they sold out all 100 pre-orders of their Ninja Eclipse pinball machines. This young company with their first game, Ninja Eclipse, sold out. Congratulations, Turner Pinball. Dutch Pinball, always in the news here, as of late with their DBX. We haven't heard much about Alice's Adventures in Wonderland post-Expo, for better or worse, but now people are already talking about Back to the Future, Back to the Future. There's a rumor from Canadian Pinball Podcast that Barry from Dutch Pinball has now been meeting and discussing having that Back to the Future pinball machine contract manufactured by Stern Pinball or Jersey Jack Pinball or other, because with such a big licensed property, there just is no way to efficiently produce the number of units at the quality you need in the time you need for, like, they basically, that's a big bite you took and you might need help chewing it. So the rumor from Canadian Pinball Podcast is that Barry has been speaking with other manufacturers to see if they would be interested in contract manufacturing for them, or maybe more than that, maybe more than just merely contract manufacturing, actually transferring the license terms over in their entirety. That is, with Barry probably still getting, a per game, what do they call that?
Commission?
I guess a commission, royalty kind of thing. So this media source was saying maybe it makes more sense financially for Barry just to make a shitload of money by not even touching a thing, because it's reported out there that there's not even a whitewood for Back to the Future. Like there's nothing right now. So people are like, well, if Stern took it over, what about Keith Elwin? We've heard Keith Elwin really likes that theme. Would that sell even better? So,
but we've also heard that Stern said that they didn't, like, the design teams didn't want this game. I struggle with this rumor. Jersey Jack has never done contract manufacturing, have they?
No, but I'm not saying they wouldn't.
And Stern
be
hasn't
open
done
to
it in years. Why wouldn't they just wait Barry out and get the license after he lost control of it?
Good point. The only reason it makes me think there might be something to this, especially with the Stern Pinball, is that Joe Kaminkow is tied to it. That's the one thing that makes me believe that, because I remember we talked about that.
Gary doesn't have the power he used to anymore. Joe isn't buddies with Seth.
I don't think you need to be. Like, I think Joe Kaminkow was smart in it, because when he went over there and got that, or helped them with that whole license and everything, this is all reported, of course, but the rumored license Back to the Future helped them get that. I always thought, like, that's kind of weird. There's something I wonder going on. But maybe the long game was, Kaminkow saying, maybe we shift back over to manufacturing this sucker in the States by Stern Pinball, who can get this job done fast. That's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And I should clarify, I don't know if Joe is buddies with Seth or not. I have no idea.
Might be old smoking buddies or something. You never know.
I have no idea. I don't know. It just seems weird. It seems extra weird if it's Jersey Jack. I really struggle to imagine that. They no history of contract manufacturing. They're much faster than they used to be about producing games, but we've heard that purportedly they have so many other big licenses that make sense for them to do instead of touching this. Well, Stern would be the most likely one. And I would believe that Barry would be trying. If I were Stern, I mean, they get their licenses so many years in advance. I would just think they're like, why would we deal with this guy? Why not just wait? Is he just going to keep re-upping it to not build them and not make any money? Would the company even allow it?
I think it would make total sense for them if they say to themselves, hey, we will acknowledge that we kind of fucked up not securing this behemoth license when we could have. Now this is our second opportunity. If his little cut royalty, the add-on is kind of small enough to say, this is our second chance. Let's not fuck this up again. Let's absolutely, if he's only wanting, like, we can make him a rich man at $50 a machine here. let's do that immediately.
I still think you put this license way higher on a pedestal than it deserves.
Me and the rest of the industry, I guess.
Whatever. If that was true, then Stern wouldn't have said no in the first place.
Polls have been taken. Data has been accrued.
You can poll and accrue and collate as much as you wish.
Polynomial?
I could more easily see Stern going and having this conversation with Jersey Jack about getting Harry Potter than this.
That's the only license bigger, in my opinion, right now. All right. Speaking of Jersey Jack Pinball, they haven't contract manufactured anything, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay.
But for this particular project, I don't see it happening. It is interesting to note that their production updates on Avatar CE, I thought they were like mid-November's when they were going to start building and shipping some Avatar CEs. I did reach out for an update. It sounds as if that is true, but they're going to ship to international first. So that will put Avatar CE production and even subsequently shipping in the U.S. mid to late December, if not possibly January. And I don't know why I was like, wow, it's just further out than I thought. Especially on the title like Avatar. Because what do they build now? I guess they're starting the line for CEs. Because Avatars the LEs, they've built those for over a month now.
Maybe there's more Elton John demand.
That is a possibility, I suppose. So I don't. It brought up a really interesting question to me, Dennis. Where I remember in the past, it was really big for like Stern Pinball. They would get games in containers and going overseas because it took about 2 weeks to go overseas. So they would land about the same time that the domestic ones would land, right? But other manufacturers following suit, I'm starting to wonder if that's a good decision. That is, getting games overseas first when it's going to take you over a month after that even to start the U.S. That means you are prioritizing overseas sales, which is fine if that's what you want to do. However, one could argue that the major focus population of your consumer base is most certainly not only the United States, but I would argue probably the United States is larger of a consumer base for your particular product than that of Canada, Europe, Australia, and everything else non-US combined. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree.
Okay. So if that is the case, my question for us to discuss is, do these manufacturers have the order of their production/shipping destinations wrong? I think something. I think we should discuss that for our members. If you're an official club member of the Pinball Show, you can go listen to that now for further analysis on this story and a deeper dive into this question. Go to patreon.com/The Pinball Show and sign up today. And thanks for the continued support. Happy Thanksgiving. The Screaming Goat Club! Dennis, it's time to thank these turkeys that are the closest to us. These are the VIP turkeys. I want to thank personally sweet, succulent Rodney. He's our bobcat. Now, if Rodney or the bobcat, aka the bobcat, if they were a Thanksgiving feast, or we did this already, didn't we?
Yeah, we made them dishes.
Yeah, we did make them dishes.
Of course, you can't think of anything different.
I can't think of anything different. Let's see.
All right, so I'll put a twist on it for you.
Okay.
Which family member would he be for the extended get together? Yes,
I'm gonna shoot that fucker.
Yeah, I think he's got to be the Southern uncle.
Okay. Not because of the Rodney that we know, but because of the character Bobcat.
Yes, because Bobcat, now, I don't know if Bobcats are native to the southern parts of the United States, but the willingness to shoot one even whilst it is on one's wife feels very Southern to me.
Oh, shoot that fucker!
Attack my wife!
Mm-hmm.
I think it is Southern Uncle. What does Southern Uncle drink? I think he drinks cheap beer. Like old English or something.
Could. Maybe a bourbon.
Oh, like
a more refined Southern.
What about like a wild turkey? Like
wild
a whiskey?
To go with the turkey? Wild turkey?
Okay, so he's the questionable Southern uncle that says some things that make you go, oof. You look around, oof, who's that going to offend? Okay. I want to thank Steve. What about Steve? We got to thank Steve and the Bumblebee. Oh, I think Steve is the city slicker.
You do?
I think so. I think he comes in
I could see it.
from his big city living. He drives like an Audi, which to him is just a classy, nice car, but he doesn't think too much of it. It's just a high quality German engineered car. But boy, when he rolls up to the family festivities, people are like, oh, there's pretentious ass Big City Steve. That's who I think.
He's got a little Autobot sticker on the back of that Mercedes.
Yeah. It's just like, he doesn't think too much of it, but he has to know that his presence may be interpreted a bit differently at the family table. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
The poor guy didn't do anything. I don't know if I'm maybe projecting here now. All right. Okay. Thank you, Rob, for the continued support of the Pinball Show. As a Screaming Goat Club member, you are our Panther. Ooh, the Panther.
Yes. This one's tricky. This one's trickier. It's probably the really silent brother.
Yeah, kind of very, very masculine, but
yes.
But
he's got the best mustache of everyone there.
Absolutely. Not overdone though. He's not super machismo, but you know that he means some business.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's good. Okay, I like that. You say he's the brother?
Yeah, I mean, it depends which family member's perspective we're thinking of.
I don't know if he's the brother-in-law or if he's actually the brother.
No, maybe the brother-in-law, but I felt more the brother. Frank seemed more like the brother-in-law.
Oh, poor Frank.
Falcon swooping in there.
Oh,
never, not really part of the family, but hey, it's Frank.
It's one of those like, fucking Frank's here. Frank. Okay, Frank. Thank you for the continued support, the Falcon. Yeah. I'm trying to I need some more with the brother-in-law, Frank.
Well, this is he's probably maybe tries a little too hard at Thanksgiving to fit in.
That's what I need.
Because it's kind of like he's got this energy, and this is a family that doesn't have that level of energy. So Frank wants to fit in, but he just tries a little too hard.
Keywords and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like, whoa, yeah, would you show me how to work the tractor later?
I see. He brings up the Tyson Logan fight and stuff. Like he wants to
He's like, whoa, it was way closer than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, okay.
Frank, come on. No one thought it was going to be close.
We got to thank Dave, too. He's our resident shaker motor. He's been here from day one. We love you. We love you, Dave.
Yeah, he's probably the caterer.
The caterer.
Yes. This isn't a family that makes their Thanksgiving. They brought it in.
Poor Dave. He always gets his balls busted. Every time we got animal-based nicknames and he gets the fucking object.
Well, that's what you get for making him a machine.
It's every example. He always gets the short end
lame.
of the
It's just
dish
how
here.
it is. It's just how it is.
Well, wasn't he last year? I think he was the canned yams or something. Like,
that or the cranberry sauce. I don't remember.
I think he was the cranberry sauce. Oh, Dave. Okay, so Dave's the caterer.
He's the guy who has to work Thanksgiving.
Does he have a trimmer too? Carry the bowl of mashed potatoes with the trimmer. Oh, shit.
I'm going to whip him with my tiny hand. Now, Dave has a tiny hand too, so it fits.
Okay. Oh,
take my strong hand.
I made them by hand.
Oh, man. All right, Joe, thank you for I poor picture Dave now with the little hand. Joe, thanks for the continued support. Fox, I think Joe's like the uncle everybody wants to hang out with, that always likes watching football with, drinking a couple beers with.
See, he doesn't even want to be at the kitchen table, though. He wants to have, because the game's on.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't we having Thanksgiving in the living room?
Yep. Joe's always cool regardless. He doesn't even have to be like have the most popular clothes or anything. It's just Joe. Joe's cool. Everybody wants to hang out with Joe. Yeah, that's definitely, he's that uncle. What about Charlie the Bell?
Charlie might be the cousin that tries to get everyone to go outside and play football.
Oh, the smoker.
Is
Charlie the smoker?
But it's just like,
sneaks out and then comes back in. You're like,
we gotta work off those candy yams.
Now we gotta smell Charlie for the next half hour.
We're gonna play the touch football game in the front yard, which of course after 2 minutes descends into full on unpadded tackle football.
Oh man!
And all that family melodrama is played out in blood.
Oh yeah, one of the
Blood
nephews
and dirt.
comes in crying. He hurt me.
And that's how he got to be known as the Bell, because that's someone's bell got rung during that friendly game.
I still like that he's smoking cigs out there.
Yeah, he's got his pack of Marlboros.
I like that he's maybe one of the cousins that's older than all the other cousins, so he's sporting like a wispy mustache.
Yes,
like
but they still make him sit at the kids' table because there's no space at the big table. He's like, I'm 28.
He's
and
like,
it doesn't matter. You're at the
adult.
kids' table for life.
Like, you're Julie's fucking bastard kid. Let's not lie. You're still a kid. Like, we don't want your ass up here. Oh, and he smokes menthols. He has to.
Oh, menthols. Okay.
All right. And none other than, I think the dude, William, thank you for the continued support. I think William is the patriarch of the family. I think maybe he's not the grandpa because William's not old, but as a person, but the dude, he's wise. I think he's the patriarch of the family.
How was your meeting, Mr. Lebowski?
Okay. The old man told me to take any rug in the house.
He's the one that carves the turkey is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Somebody's
yeah.
got
He's
to
the
carve
one
the turkey.
in the what Rockwell painting.
Yes. The cardigan sweater. Yeah. He's the one that you can, he has nostalgic smells to him. Not an Old Spice, not a Brute, but something a little bit still dated, but still brings back an okay memory. Maybe a little bit too much hair product, but you know, he still carves a mean turkey. We still respect him. He's just, I don't know, he's the dude. I was wanting to know like who the drama queen bitch aunt was.
Well, we don't have a club member for that
I
yet.
know. Well, but you could be if you sign up to patreon.com. So you can be the bitch aunt. Patreon.com/The Pinball Show. Thank you all for the continued support. Over on Discord, if you are a member, you get to private-ish Discord chat. We've been discussing, they've been talking about Stern remastered titles and what could get remastered. They talked about old Bobby Mueller getting indicted. There's been some fun discussion over there. Come check that out. We are doing the Happy Hour Hangout for the month of November here coming up this Wednesday, the 20th.
Yes. 20th, yes.
8
At
p.m.
8 p.m. Central.
I got some new bourbon, so I'll be drinking that.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
I'll be sitting in a
it's-
hot tub. Ooh.
Post is already live for those that are the Nordman level or above over at patreon.com.
That sounds like fun. And now, on to... I was just going to jump right into it. I guess I could. And now on to pinball! Oh, that wasn't good.
That's what everyone says about this segment.
Come on!
That's very fitting.
I couldn't get the cadence here. I have to roll into it with some
Why?
amount of... I've got to jog into it.
You've practiced so much, though.
I am like a pole vaulter, or what are those? The long stick, is that the pole vault? I need a nice running start to land the dismount. Is what I'm trying to say.
They don't land the dismount; they just go over the bar and then flop.
Well, I'm thinking of the horse now, the pommel horse.
Speaking of flops,
Oh,
it's time
come
for
on.
the third favorite segment of the show.
Is it trending down?
I don't know.
The
I
segment?
think it's trending even.
What a segment! It's none other than pinball market trends.
Your mom can't attack my wife!
I like your style, dude.
Cash grab. That's trending up. This cash grab is true. Nice job, Bruce. You made the pinball market.
That's his most famous call out now.
Let's see if he overuses it. He might overdo it. The only thing to be overdone that still holds true is pinball market trends. Trending up this week. You guys, we've been waiting for this. I anticipated and analyzed this to happen, not only because of the seasonal changes as we roll into the holiday season, but even maybe the perception of changing U.S. governmental... No, we're not talking politics on here, but we are talking market. And up this week, trending very much so, is the market. Numbers don't lie. I only report the facts. I'm not taking any stance here, there, or anywhere. But as we roll into the holiday season, Dennis, each and every year, this is when it starts getting hot. Because over the summer, when it was physically hot, people were outside. They weren't buying pinball machines as much, and everybody was saying, the sky is falling, Chicken Little don't want nothing to do with no physical pinball machines. Well, now Chicken Little is wearing his little precious scarf. And he knows that he's going to be bunkered down, not only in the Midwest and the North, but in parts of the South as well. Everybody wants pinball for the holiday season, for Christmas, and even selfishly to justify getting themselves something nice. You see it with the releases. Look at Stern Pinball. They're hitting us up with all kinds of new stuff, and sales are reflecting that. Distribution companies have been very, very busy already here in November, shaping up to be maybe the busiest month of the entire year. And looking back, you know what the second hottest month was this year? October. Again, I'm only speaking for myself sales-wise, but not only new games, pre-owned games, the market is hot right now. And people are, what's weird is people are buying new games quite a bit. The secondary market is hot as well, but you see prices that are amongst the lowest that they've been in years on some of these titles. I do worry, if I am projecting out, as this is a market analysis segment, I do worry whenever you do have hot new in-box products that are selling very well, and the discrepancy between the sales of those price-wise and the secondary prices of a product, that distance or that separation growing, that typically is not a great sign for future new in-box sales. But we're going to ride this train as long as we can right now. But new in-box sales are high right now, and people are buying the shit out of used games, but they're not paying as much as they did 6 months ago, not nearly as much as they did a year ago, and so forth. And I said that even politically, because even though there's a shifting change in the U.S. government, or will be in the future based on the recent election, just the perception alone, I would argue, has driven the market a hair even over the last 2 weeks. Am I crazy, Dennis?
I mean, I have no idea.
And while there is no truth to justify it, in my opinion, just the perception alone has quite, it's like when my in-laws come in, I got to give them a hard time. My in-laws came in and they were like, "Hey, are you thankful that Trump is our next president? Because I really worried about your company if he wasn't going to be." I'm like, what? What's that? Like, we've done okay. This company's done okay the last 4 years. Like, have you seen a big boom yet? I'm like, why would I see a big? He's not even our president yet. Like, what? Just the perception alone sometimes. All's trending up this week. Let's talk about the hot games right now. The big sellers. There are 3 hot sellers right now. Any guesses as to what they are, Dennis?
Metallica,
yes.
X-Men,
yep.
and Jaws.
Ooh, Godzilla. Yep. Jaws still selling well, but the 3 that cannot be stopped right now are Metallica, Uncanny X-Men, and Godzilla. And when I say Godzilla, I'm meaning all Godzillas, but primarily the 70th and the Color Premium. Taking an uptick on the Godzilla 70th. Those are the 3 hot games. I would say number 4, probably Jaws, but right now, trending up are those 3 hotness games. Uncanny X-Men Pros, especially. I think there could be a situation for myself that we end up selling maybe more Pro Uncanny X-Men's than we do premiums. And I will attribute this recent, as we were talking about adjustments that need to be made and stuff, that discussion, we have seen a bigger boom in pro sales because of that. That is true. Even though a shooter launch thing affects the pro just as much as it does pre. Why? Also trending up this week is use of a CPAP machine. Oh, Dennis, I have to use a CPAP now. Oh, and nothing says trending up like the feeling when you're sleeping of someone putting their hand over your nose and mouth. Because, boy, who doesn't love that feeling? Oh, have you ever done the CPAP?
No.
Horrible. Just horrible. It is the worst feeling ever. It's almost like, have you ever heard the old myth that you can't own a cat when you have a baby because it ends up like taking its breath and stuff? Have you seen that? You've never heard of that?
I think it's right? I think it's a certain regional myth.
Okay, yeah. That's what this CPAP feels like. It's like one of those Death Eaters in Harry Potter, like sucks your soul out. Like when I'm trying to exhale, it's like it takes it. I can't breathe. Nicole. She says, "Well, but you don't snore, so it's so much more pleasant for me." But it's horrible. You're breathing against something blowing at you too. Oh God! And then if you try to breathe through your mouth, it creates like this siphon. I loathe it. But trending up, I guess, is better health. Fuck. We'll give it another week or so, but I don't know how long I'm going to last. Trending down this week is Stern Pinball Sam titles. Oh,
The fear is real.
I mean, it's Star Trek, it's AC/DC, it's Tron Legacy, Iron Man, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Spider-Man. I'm sorry, owners of those. No, I'm not sorry, because you have great games. You have great machines. Having said that, that Tron and that Iron Man just are not going to hold the value. See Bally Williams' original title value whenever the remakes came out. Poor Medieval Madness dropped, Cactus Canyon plummeted. I fear that we're going to see the same, just again, perception. Just the perception alone that it could happen that they redo AC/DC or Iron Man or Pirates or Spy. Just the perception that it could happen will already, by default, decrease the value of your game $300 to $700. How about that? That's big. And it's true.
And I've got Sam games. I'm in trouble.
No, because you don't really move your games much. You don't have to worry about it. And you enjoy them. Who cares?
I'm in hypothetical trouble. Oh, no.
Also trending down this week, apparently men's boxing. I stayed up, Dennis.
Oh, I didn't watch
I'm
this.
the idiot. The marketing is trending up because
I've seen so many angry people falling for this WWE drawn out nonsense.
I don't watch boxing. I find it grotesque to some degree. Same with MMA. Like, it gives me the tinglies where it shouldn't. I don't like it. It just, it makes me feel gross. Having said that, this marketing worked. And the nostalgia of what Mike Tyson as a figure is in the zeitgeist of my childhood, I was hook, line, and sinker. And of always the little blonde douchebag, you always want to see get his ass kicked. So it's like this David and Goliath kind of thing. Only you're rooting for, I guess, Goliath. Follow me here. Men's boxing is down because I stayed up, shame on me, for that piece of shit boxing match. Not only that one, but all the men's boxing throughout that simulcast that was glitchy the last 2 hours, where I felt like I was on AOL back in the late 90s.
I've seen a lot of complaints about that. Netflix really dropped the ball on being able to stream it.
Man. Is it over 120 million concurrent viewers?
My favorite, I think it was on Reddit. I saw someone show an image of screenshot from the Paul Tyson fight, and it was a shot from Nintendo Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Perfect. That's perfect.
It's just a graph from the old NES game.
Oh, but man, they've got to fix that. But I say that it's trending down because I seen, prior to that big Mike Tyson title bout, I seen in my experience of watching boxing, which is very minimal, I seen the greatest fight I've ever seen in my life. And it came from two women, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Right now, if you haven't seen this or anything, you're thinking to yourself, who gives a shit? If you watch this and you at least accepted the sport of boxing, holy shit. I've never seen two human beings beat the ever-loving shit out of one another than this. This was everything. I was getting squeamish, and I was just like, holy crap, are they going to be able to sustain? Her eye is split open. She's wobbling. How is this is that a headbutt? It was phenomenal. So much so that it made that Mike Tyson fight substantially worse. These two women, that I would watch boxing if it was that, but I still would not feel good about it, because that's some scary stuff right there. That's some scary stuff. I didn't think women's boxing, I was one of those people that's like, yeah, women, watching them, do some sports. I'm like, I didn't know they were like this. Completely would be terrified by these warriors. Holy shit. You got to watch it, didn't it? You got to watch it. It's nuts. And before we go, I got to give you a little bit of razzle-dazzle, a little deal of the week. Buy! You want to save some money, people? Look, I thought I was clever marketing-wise, and I've got this arcade edition of this Jurassic Park, right? The big Raw Thrills thing's like $16,000. So they made a home edition. It's a little bit smaller. You actually fit in people's homes. And I've been trying to sell it. It hadn't been selling well because I'm primarily a pinball crowd. So I comboed it. I bundled it up with a Data East Jurassic Park pinball machine that we got in on trade. And I said, here's your Jurassic Duo, right? And I was trying to package deal it and sell them both. And somebody was like, hey, Zach, I don't want the arcade. Can I just buy the Data East? I'm like, fuck, all right, yeah, you can. Which leaves me still with this home arcade Jurassic Park. And it's freaking awesome, but I want to replace it in our showroom with a different arcade. So I'm going to give one hell of a deal of the week. These things were going for over $10,000. One of the coolest statement pieces that you can have in your game collection. If you own all kinds of pinball machines, why not have one of the cool arcade games of Jurassic Park that you all love at these FECs, but one that can actually fit? It's the same game, but it can fit into your home. I marked it all right now. It's marked down all the way from like 11 grand to 7,500. I'm going to knock another 500 off for the holiday savings season. $69.99. Come get you some. Zach at flippingoutpinball.com. And as always, I'm just here to report the facts, the holiday cheer, because numbers don't lie and neither will I on Pinball Market Trends. Dennis, where can people catch you?
They can always email eclecticgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, that's nice of them.
It is.
They can email us at thepinballshow@gmail.com as well. Follow, like, and subscribe to Facebook, YouTube. Become a member, patreon.com/thepinballshow. Oh, I did want to tell people this. I think in our next show, we are going to, or between maybe now and then, who knows, we're going to do a holiday giveaway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Every month or every year we do this.
Every month.
Where we're giving away toppers or we're giving away cool shit. I think we should do it again. So, people, all you need to do is make sure that you're following. Maybe that's a requisite. You never know. Maybe it's not. But make sure you're following us on Facebook and Insta and all that stuff. YouTube. Flipping out all of that. Straight down the middle of video series I do. Maybe you need to follow them like that too. And we never want to forget straight down the middle. Oh, I don't want to say how soon, but very soon you'll be seeing the work that we've been doing for the last couple of months. And then the sponsor of this show is proudly Flippin' Out Pinball.
When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flippin' Out. From toppers, sharp blades, outs, I've got it figured out. Flippin' out, figured out. When I think of pinball, I think flippin' out. Flippin' out, figured out. When I buy from Flippin' Out. Buy.
Product showcase this week is none other than the hottest game of this holiday season. It's Metallica Remastered Premium Edition. Get one because at Flippin' Out Pinball, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have like six left in this run, I think. And then not until 2025. So get one now. The Beatles Gold, we still have some pre-order spots if you want one of those. Black Knight Pro, we're getting a couple of those in. Get one pre-ordered now. What about the Spooky Pinball next game? It's got to be coming out soon, right?
Maybe it's Back to the Future.
It's not.
They used to do contract manufacturing.
Yeah, maybe. So if you want that next game, possibly get on our interested list. Godzilla 70th Anniversary accessories, I got them in stock. And you can have them shipped today. Avatar LE, you want it? You got it. We got them ready to go. Uncanny X-Men, I still have LEs. Premiums, Pros. Godzilla 70th, they're gone. I've got I think 4 of those. 3 of those? Something like that. Next Stern pinball game, next JJP pinball machine. Get on our interested list today. Pulp Fictions, Cactus Canyons, John Wick's, Lights Out, Foo Fighters, Jaws, Stranger Things, Venom, Avengers, Deadpool's. I did see Deadpool and Wolverine, Dennis. I did watch that. And I will say, I was a fan of the first 2, not like this huge fan. I'm not like this huge Deadpool. Oh, he's my favorite. Never been that way. And thought the first 2 were just B+. They're fine. They're good. I will say the third one, my favorite one by far. It was good. It was hilarious in parts. It was well done. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Great popcorn movie. A little grotesque of eating popcorn, but I loved it. I loved it. We sell everything. Just come to flippingoutpinball.com. Oh, and you can email, instead of just emailing Zach at flippingoutpinball.com, here to announce you can also email Greg, Greg, at flippingoutpinball.com. As Greg Bone is also.
Why would they do that?
Well, he's doing sales now too.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He's always done our tech. So if you have anything that you got from us with any issue, email him. But now he's also doing some sales. We'll have a more formal announcement to his full-time joining of our group, but you can email him too. Whew. Flip it out with friends. Joel. I don't have Joel on payroll yet. Hey, Joel, on the job. Joel's a graphic designer, I believe.
I think so. He
But he's like
designed
in
my
manage-
watches with Dennis logo, actually.
Yeah, he's in management now, I think. So, but
he's the boss, man.
I think he is streaming the one and only Metallica LE this week.
Everyone wants him to stream Space Hunt.
Well, we got to reach out to the French, see if they want a wee one over here. We do not like you making fun of us, Zach. Why would we do this? We don't need your US dollars. You don't even want to ship us the first machines. Flipping Out with Friends this Wednesday. Maybe some surprises there, too. Check it out for Metallica Remastered LE with UV. All right, Dennis, teach these people something.
Well, if you're thinking about getting games for Christmas and you're seeing the prices...
If this is a fucking coin taker ad.
No, it's not a coin taker
Thank you.
ad.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, don't sell your spleen to get into the dream. Just wait for a sale like Pinoween.
I didn't know where that was going, but it took a nice little in there.
Pinoween.
Pinoween. And always practice safe pinball. And in the wise words of Metallica Remastered, yeah, I'm thinking the pinball show's back.
It's terrible. That's terrible.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning, when I'm losing again.